Poisonrana.
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Podcast Addict.
There we go.
And whatever else you use.
Like youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, everyone. Hello, postmarks. Hello, upNexperts. Hello,
Friends.
friends.
It's Tuesday. That means the dust is settled. We've stood. We delivered. We've had honor. Had halls of fame.
Breaks.
We've been Hollywood.
Yeah.
And we've had 2 nights of WrestleMania. And on top of that, a Raw that may or may not have been controlled and run by Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And we're here on Tuesday.
What a whirlwind of a week.
Whew.
Didn't even mention WWE being sold in that
Yeah,
breath either.
Sorry, I should have. Yeah, that's probably the big one.
Yeah. Crazy week. We've had a lot going on here at Poisonrana, Post Wrestling. We hosted 2 nights of a WrestleMania watch party at Gabby's, which
did we ever.
We had a great time at. You can hear all about it on our Poisonrana show we released yesterday, where we gave all our thoughts on WrestleMania and how the event at Gabby's went. And then we were quite beat up yesterday from like all this wrestling that we decided to treat ourselves to all you can eat wings at Hooters.
Yeah.
And how many pounds did we do each, Braden?
I don't really want to talk about that, but we did 5 pounds of wings.
We did 5
each.
pounds of wings each, followed by a few Guinness, and then came back to watch Raw. We were all excited. We felt disgusting about ourselves. Then we watched Raw, and we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Triple H said, hey, we're not going anywhere. Boy, he meant that. They weren't going anywhere. Maybe he meant Vince wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. Weird couple of days in wrestling, because if you listen to our Poisonrana show, follow our feed, Poisonrana Pod.
Yeah, hey, go check out Poisonrana.ca. It links to everything that we do. Of course, we're here on the Post Wrestling feed, and shout out John and Way, who've had they deserve a week off.
Yeah.
I can't believe doing
Marathon
a Raw
man.
after that. Yeah, shout out John and Way and everyone involved with postwrestling.com. But me and Davie, we do a bunch of other stuff over on our feed, and yeah, we did a little bit of a Monday WrestleMania roundup, giving thoughts of all the wrestling through the weekend. So go check out that feed.
It's possibly the most positive we've both been about like a main roster show for as long as we've been doing this.
2 nights.
I thought that was an incredible WrestleMania. Both
Absolutely.
nights. Really loved the whole thing this year.
Yeah, I'm really positive on this year. I mean, it just felt big. The hype going into it this time felt like WrestleMania season. Wrestling just has this like boom as of late, but not only that, they delivered with just bit of the wrestling, bit of the spectacle, bit of the
storytelling,
bit of Shane McMahon,
a
little bit of everything. So really, I thought it was a home run. And then who are we to? We were just bamboozled yet again. Like, boy who cried wolf is WWE, because
so let's talk about it a little bit before we go into like our plugs, because we're kind of on it right now. But yeah, we sat down and watched Raw yesterday, and we're quite excited, and we're like, oh, we're after Mania. Is anyone going to be brought up? Are there going to be
NXT call-ups?
Returns? Like, what kind of things we're getting? And I thought it started off pretty positively. Triple H coming out, like, I can't think. It was actually a really refreshing speech at the time, I thought, because they always thank us, the WWE universe, but just actually like giving a moment to, thank the talent back there and thank the staff and all that. Like, it felt quite refreshing, and it felt a bit of a celebration, because I thought the weekend was quite buzzing.
Good.
But then you're hearing all these reports of, last minute changes to the script again, just like the old days, and things being advertised that didn't happen, and especially your like bait and switch with the Brock Cody tag at the end. It did feel like kind of like the old days, and then reports that Vince is in Gorilla, and there's reports of talent being unhappy and perhaps not being like wanting their release or wanting to walk or whatever. No mention of Bailey yesterday, someone who apparently last minute was kind of cut from the damage control segment. Seems a bit we're on rocky roads again.
Yeah, definitely in like a span of 24 hours, like after such a big WrestleMania weekend, and then to have I don't know, it's weird.
Was that Triple H being like,
see ya.
bye,
Thanks guys, hope I did an okay job, and hope you enjoyed my one and only season. I ran a season of WWE. I hope it was okay. Mania was great. Cheers, thanks, love you. Yeah, that's definitely what it felt like, because we both don't watch Raw that regularly. WrestleMania season was definitely checking in, but there was so much stuff that still I wasn't loving that much. But then having such a huge WrestleMania, I don't think we were alone on that, because the ratings looked pretty good from this Monday. But for like us watching it, and then like little going into it, we were like, this isn't that great. And then as soon as like the Brock Cody thing happened, we assumed right away Brock would just be Brock and attack Cody. And then they didn't do that. Instead, they do a classic Vince move of knocking you over the head until you're sick of hearing it multiple times, of the biggest Raw main event ever. Oh my goodness, the biggest Raw tag team match ever. Brock hasn't wrestled in a tag team match in 20 years. The biggest Raw match. And then wouldn't you know it, the match doesn't happen
on Raw.
Exactly. And then just for that not to even happen.
And we had that when we went to WrestleMania in New York. Monday after that, I think they advertised Kofi versus Seth, champion v champion, and then it was tag match against the Bar. In the main event. Like I think Brock is a great idea for Cody. Like, I listened to our review of WrestleMania. I'm not completely down on Cody not winning. Like, I think there is more story to be told here, and I think it's good that you don't go to that rematch right away, because eventually Cody should win this thing. And it's not going to happen at a Backlash, is it? It's going to happen at a Mania. So he needs to be kind of doing other things. And what's better than a huge feud with Brock Lesnar? I think the idea is great, but just the execution, the whole bait and switch.
Just do it in the angle. Just do it in the segment. Don't make people think and wait. That's such a cheap cop-out Vince thing that I don't like.
Especially when it's a Raw after Mania, when I think compared to other Raws, you're likely to have the attention throughout the night, because people are waiting for that surprise return or whatever, or a big angle. I think to advertise it's such a Vince move. But yeah, then you're seeing kind of the tweet that Bailey sent out on Sunday, saying like, love stories come to an end. Bye. Asuka saying, considering, should I be going back to Japan? Something weird's going on, and I think especially all those people that were fired over the last few years being brought back can't be great about seeing Vince in Gorilla.
Yeah, it's just a whole weird thing. It's just a whirlwind of events, with like WrestleMania being pretty big and pretty successful, you would say, for WWE, for the huge news that you couldn't avoid like the last few days about Endeavor, UFC, WWE, that whole thing going everywhere. And then just the terrible cherry on top.
Especially considering that day he's going, I'm not going to be in the weeds, and then he's sat there. And maybe it is just because it was night after Mania. We'll see what reports coming out of like SmackDown on Friday and Raw next week, whether he's there. But it's a shame, because I felt so positive coming out of WrestleMania. As I said, it's not like I like the idea of the Brock feud. I'm sure there's plenty of good things that can be coming. But it's sad to just see the morale, like the wind out the balloon, just like
instantly
going right away.
You just had a success, like such a big weekend, that I think a lot of fans were on the same page. Like, hey, that was a great WrestleMania, great job. Let's see what's next. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is it's not that great. But hey, Cody Brock, that's a huge match. I think Cody should beat Brock, get some revenge. I love seeing the somewhat of them together, like as a tag team for the first few moments. Like that combo is just so ridiculous that you're like, okay, that could be fun. But yeah, Backlash, I'm sure we'll have that as a singles match. I'm sure we'll get Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny involved in some sort of match with Dom and Priest.
He had a good punch on him.
Yeah, Bad Bunny.
Dom.
I mean, Bad Bunny like died taking that table bump.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, some crazy stuff. But yeah, not the morale with Vince being back, not the greatest like so far, but really a great WrestleMania. So still high off a whole weekend of wrestling and everything that we were doing. But yeah, still like now I'm just like, okay, I'm wrestled out. Tonight I did not want to watch NXT. fair. I just was like, okay, I'm tapped out. But we did. We'll talk all about it for sure. But yeah, lots of wrestling over this weekend. If you're a fan, hey, this is great.
It doesn't stop, does it?
It never stops. It just restarts.
Dynamite tomorrow. I can't wait till Thursday.
Yeah, I just can't wait for a day where I just don't have to watch wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, there's Ring of Honor.
Yeah, on Thursdays. Yeah, I can't wait. We did do a 2 week. Oh man, see that I'm fried today for sure. We did a 2-night back-to-back sellout WrestleMania watch party at Gabby's King Street, Toronto, downtown. And go check out our Instagram at PoisonRanaPod for some pictures and some videos and some clips of the fun stuff that we had going on the weekend. Shout out anyone who showed up, including some of our listeners, some of our regular Toronto wrestling fans and friends. And
shout out Andrew McDonald flying here to
people
the party.
Flew in. Different people from all around the world and all around the country came in for this party. So we are calling it a success as well. We had so much fun. We gave out replica titles and we had trivia and games and so much fun stuff. So yeah, this was a lot of fun and we can't wait to do more. Obviously, Forbidden Doors coming down the line in June for Toronto. So we're looking at things for that.
You know, my favorite moment of the 2-night watch party.
What was it?
So we sold tickets in advance. Those we sold out. And then it was kind of
craziness.
Pay at the door. Yeah. Pay at the door for, and we'll try and fit you in. And your girlfriend was running the door. And I go over. This couple are about to buy tickets. Got their money out. Snatch it from their hand and go, absolutely not. Get the fuck out.
And we were shocked.
There was this couple that dined and dashed on me the other week.
Like this week, you said.
A week, last Saturday. And they came back to try and come and see WrestleMania. And they had their money out and I was like, that's mine.
No, you owe me money. So everyone applauded you.
They didn't even argue.
They didn't argue at all.
Yeah,
they
okay.
Went, you got us. Wow. Dined and dashed a week ago and come back to the bar.
Oh, it was so satisfying.
Yeah. I was
That was my WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
Cody didn't have his, but I had mine.
I kicked a few people out too that were like trying to. One guy did the old, oh, sorry, this is a ticketed event to watch the wrestling? Oh, okay. I don't want to watch that. Can I just use the washroom? And we're like, yeah, sure. And then a few minutes later, we see like one of the bartenders not having a nice conversation. And then the guy comes back to me like, I just want to complain here. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Well, your bartender here is just being so rude and this and that. I'm like, do you have a ticket for this thing? I don't see you're wearing a wristband. Nah. My girlfriend goes, yeah, didn't you just tell me you were going to the washroom? No, I want to put in a complaint. I hate this place. I'm like, great, leave, get out, see you later. I'm like, wow, I'm learning how this whole event thing can work. But most of the time, most of the people were great.
All of the ticketed people were fantastic.
Yeah. We had a lot of people. We had a lot of walk-ins and parties and drinks and banger moms and all sorts of stuff. But holy cow, what a weekend. So we are completely spent.
And how better to celebrate than talk even more about all other wrestling. We're doing our NXT show today, but if you like us enough and sign up to our Patreon, we have some bonus shows we do. We've got a whole back catalogue, over 500 shows where we talk about old wrestling, best matches ever, movie reviews, and, well, we've got a new month, which means new schedule, which is still being finalized because we have been kind of distracted with WrestleMania. But we are going to release this week a brand new episode of Best Match Ever. We've talked about Rey Mysterio. It's time to talk about Rey Mysterio Jr. Yes, we're talking about the best matches from Rey outside of WWE. As we've still got the kind of the Rey buzz going on, you know, he just beat his kid. So how better to celebrate than talk about other great matches.
Now, you know how much I support beating kids. No. You know how much I love Rey Mysterio. And yeah, him going into the Hall of Fame is pretty crazy. So 2 big shows coming out. Look, a few months back, in honor of the great Muda, with Bye Bye Muda, going into the Hall of Fame, we did do a best match ever, Great Muda, with WH Park. Later this month, we will be joined again by WH Park to chat about KG Muta. No, Muto.
KG
Oh,
Muto.
man, I'm going to get them all
Yes.
confused again. Anyways, we're having WH. He's going to curate another list of great matches, and we're going to go through that. But in honor of that, in a few weeks, we'll put out the old Patreon show, the Great Muda BME, for free on our Poisonrana feed. And we're going to do the same thing this week with our best match ever, Rey Mysterio. We put out a Patreon show where we looked at the best of Ray in WWE. This week, I'm going to put it out for free over on our Patreon over on our free feed.
Mm-hmm.
But on our Patreon will be the new best match ever, Rey Mysterio Jr., looking at WCW, ECW, indie wrestling. There's an Osprey
AAA.
match, Lucha Underground.
Yep.
We're going through everything, the best of Rey Mysterio. As we're recording this, we would love your feedback for some recommendations. We're going to scour the best of Rey Mysterio, rate, review, and go through the best of Rey Mysterio Jr., which I'm super psyched about. So yeah, some crazy shows coming up, but the real full schedule of the rest of the month will come out as well. We got some other things. I know some Up Yours are in the works there for our world champs. So
We're going to be doing Was Next, joined by Chris Price and Anne Marie, our Was experts, to talk all about 2013 NXT as we've come to the very end. We're going to do a kind of year in review of that show, but also for free this week. We are in the final season of Succession, and last season I did a kind of weekly review show. I'm bringing that back, and I'm kicking things off talking about episodes 1 and 2 this week with Jordan Goodman, and you can find that on Thursday.
excellent.
On the Poisonrana feed. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
so many
forgetting where I'm
feeds.
living right now.
So many feeds, but hey, you should be following us if you use any social media. We're on all those things, and follow our outlets for when we drop these podcasts. You know what would be a good show we should have done? Maybe we do it next week. Super Mario Brothers, the movie, comes out this weekend. Maybe we should take a look back at a movie that came out 30 years ago called Super Mario
Wow,
Brothers.
30 years.
It came out in May in 1993. We
All
can
right.
give it a month in advance. So maybe we'll take a look at that next week. Shout out Shot in the Dark, John Cena, who's taken a well-deserved vacation from writing about wrestling on postwrestling.com and doing pods. He's taken his son to Super Mario World in LA. He's there today. And as we just were about to go live, he said he was in line for one of the Mario rides in California. And he spotted someone in line.
Who was it?
Johnny Gargano and
No
Candice
way!
LeRae.
Whoa!
So shout out John Cena and shout out Johnny Gargano, who I'm sure are having a blast
That's
going on
amazing.
some of the Mario rides. So if you're someone who's hyped about the Mario stuff going out this weekend, maybe we'll take a look back at the old movie next week on the Patreon as well. So lots of podcasts and lots of fun stuff. See, we never stop. We're just like the WWE. The train just keeps moving. We just keep going. And I'm just wrestled out. I could be good for not watching more wrestling. Oh, wait, Dynamite's tomorrow night.
Yeah, we don't have to watch.
No, we have to watch.
Why?
Is there anything on it tomorrow night? MJF gets a key to the city or something like
MJF,
that?
yeah, best friends versus
Said no more. Say no more.
Come
We
on.
have to watch it now. We have to watch
more QTV.
Dynamite.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully someone doesn't break their leg like the
Yeah.
last time I watched. Oh, that was Ring of Honor. See, that's just too much. What was there?
That,
Ass
that
eating?
feels like a year ago now.
Yeah, that seems like a whole lifetime ago. But yeah.
Well, do we have to? Is there anything else to talk about before we go into this week's NXT?
I'm trying to think of what else there is to talk about. I mean, hey, today seems like a good day. We had a great WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Shrek 5 is announced.
All right.
Donald Trump got arrested, kinda. Like today.
Yeah, what's going on there?
I don't know. Just don't. I mean, Vince McMahon's in power, but we know a thing or two about hush money, and maybe Vince was just better at it, has better people behind him in his corner than Trump does. I don't know, but
Yeah.
something
Damn.
along those lines. Trump was just trying to be sneaky and wasn't good at it.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wow.
We never
That's
got.
exciting stuff, isn't it?
We never got the full on like seeing him arrested. I don't think they put cuffs on him. That's okay. Yeah,
I'm
but,
just looking at Trump now. But I need to stop.
But again, Shrek 5, so we're good, fam. Everything in the world is.
You know, I've only seen Shrek 1.
You've only seen Shrek 1.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
fine.
Shrek 1 and Shrek 2 are good. I honestly 3 and 4 aren't that great, but
Yeah. Shrek
However-
5 doesn't excite me too.
However, Puss in Boots was nominated, if not, didn't it? Like, or did Avatar win animated? Someone won animated this year. Puss in Boots was
Animated
nominated.
was Pinocchio,
Right.
Guillermo del Toro.
But I mean, Shrek won the Oscar. I went to my Shrek rave. Maybe that's why I'm just in high Shrek spirits this week. But
I don't know. Halloween 1, good film. Halloween 5.
yeah, yeah. I just think Shrek has its fans clearly. Like, we did our Mania party this week, but ours was Saturday, Sunday, and Shrek Night did Friday, Saturday in Toronto, and like it was nuts. Like people love it. There's also a Bikini Bottom one, which again maybe not my avenue as much. SpongeBob's great, but hey, the kids these days throw raves of anything, so bless them.
All right, well, let's go to a NXT rave.
That would be. What do you think an NXT rave would possibly be?
I mean, they've got all the costumes already.
They do in NXT.
Yeah.
We have Caden and Katana.
Yeah.
They'd be the rave
I'm
experts.
thinking more like Wendy Chu. And
She's more sleepy, like the one person sleeping at the rave.
well, I mean, she's always in a onesie.
Yeah.
You
onesies.
like doing what?
Yeah,
onesie?
onesies at a rave are sweet. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can sweat in yourself. Great. Stay hydrated, friends.
All right, well, let's get into it. NXT from April 4th, 2023, live from the Capital Wrestling Center. We start with a graphic in memory of Bushwhacker Butch.
Oh, yeah.
Who just passed away. And then later in the show, Vic Joseph takes a moment to kind of shout him out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, a long time ago, different generation, but I'm definitely speaking for a lot of fans who got into it playing the wrestling video games and stuff. And Bushwhackers always somehow ended up in some of these games, and therefore their entrance would end up in the game. So when I was like young, playing these games and creating my own wrestlers with my friends, we'd do that as our entrance. Therefore, we'd start doing it, and then we'd be like, "Where's this from?" And then we'd realize, okay, it's the Bushwhackers. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen him wrestle before, but I swear it was just him. Like he was doing that where it wasn't him, like, right? So, but yeah, shout out the Bushwhackers.
We get a recap of Stand and Deliver, and I found it quite interesting because as they're recapping the main event, there is no reference to the tap out from Mello and no reference of the like title shot from Trick Williams. They just cut it as if Carmelo Hayes had this great babyface win over the year-long champion. I found quite interesting, and especially after the final kind of angle here. Yeah, I think they realized maybe that was the wrong thing to do because they've kind of just struck it from history almost.
Yeah, really weird considering they did edit out here, and then clearly the angle tonight they're going for a different story, so they're just doing revisionist things.
Yeah, I mean, we said we really enjoyed the show, but that was stupid. That putting that in that match, I thought.
Yeah, most wrestling fans this weekend were mad that Cody lost to Roman. However, Cody losing to Roman still kind of makes sense in a little way. Like, just do it again next year. It'll be great, even bigger. Carmelo winning the way he won was really the one big disappointment out of this weekend. Of like, I'm not mad that he won. I'm actually really I'm happy he is the champion. But the way they did that, it shouldn't have been that way. Not this way. So definitely weird that they edited it out and then no reference of it on the show. So clearly going with a whole different story going forward.
We start with Alicia Taylor introducing Indy Hartwell. Vic Joseph on commentary is saying that he got a text from Johnny Gargano saying that him and Candice were stood in Gorilla watching as Indy won the Women's Championship in the ladder match, and they were crying, and it's one of their favorite moments in wrestling. Kind of Indy's adopted parents in NXT. There's "You Deserve It" chants, and Indy says, "You have no idea how long I've waited to hear that." Indie wrestling chants start, and she says, "I can't believe it's real. I'm NXT Women's Champion, and I almost gave up on that a long time ago. I never thought I'd win this. And I gained some momentum. I pick up some wins, and then I was right back down again. I really doubted myself. And even though I was the tag team champion, I didn't do that on my own. And holding this was just a pipe dream. But you guys never doubted me. And you chanted indie wrestling when I needed it the most. And two more things I have to get to. First, I have to acknowledge Roxanne Perez. If it wasn't for Roxanne, there wouldn't have been a ladder match. So the first person who should get an opportunity should be her. And secondly, and that's when Zoey Stark's music hits, she interrupts and says she can't listen to this crap. She's heard of pigs flying, but Indi as NXT Women's Champion is more ridiculous. You are holding a title that has been held by legends and future Hall of Famers, and the most ridiculous part is you are holding it now. You are not on their level. You're right down here. And now we have a very beatable champion. Says she wants a title tonight. And Indi says, okay, well, let's see how beatable a champion I am. Let's do it. And Zoey says she's going to make sure Indi has the shortest reign in NXT history.
So already putting a title on the line tonight.
Yes.
I mean, these two had a bit of a little feud back and forth. It
Yeah.
kind of makes sense. It is great that there was like the last chance wild card match that Indi won and then did go on to win it. Definitely the like wild card to even win this thing. Just she felt so hot and cold lately. So like we are still super excited and happy for Indi, but it's just kind of didn't feel like the right time or place. But hey, like
the crowd was still appreciative.
Yeah.
I think she is a character that people, especially this crowd, see every week and are happy for her. You just feel there would have been a nicer build to her finally getting that moment.
Yeah.
And I still feel Roxanne's kind of been done a little dirty. I think we might see a show up on SmackDown, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I thought we'd see people on Raw. But it felt like the line of her kind of acknowledging her was almost her write-off. It's like, yeah, she was great, but now we're moving on.
Sorry, I beat her. Yeah.
But she wasn't on the show at all. Maybe she'll come back, but it just...
The reason I think Roxanne is being brought up is because like the angle of her injury before Sandy Liver was not like legit. She's not injured, so
No.
it made me feel like, oh, they're working on stuff because they're bringing her up. But then she's back in the match and then just loses, and then that's it.
It was all very odd.
So like, yeah,
it did feel like it's a rush and calling her up, and especially later we get to an angle with Tiffany and Cora. So it just feels like Roxanne is already such an afterthought in this title picture.
yeah.
But not bad promo here from Indi. I think she comes across very naturally, and she is quite naturally likable. I hope she can get some actual decent feuds though, because I don't really think she had anything really meaningful since the Dexter stuff.
Yeah,
really.
we'll see if she is like gonna be the women's champ that we've kind of hoped that she can be. But yeah, I was happy that the crowd were responding to her and saying you deserve it. And she's like, yeah, thanks, I do deserve it, kind of thing. But and the stuff about Johnny and the way how they were there, and then we did see them come out later on. Like,
yeah,
it was pretty great.
we get a Twitter thing from WWE NXT where Wes Lee is being interviewed at the airport when Axiom congratulates him and says, I want a one-on-one match for the title. Wes says, you know what? You really bought it on Saturday, so why not? Let's do it. Axiom, Wes Lee, one-on-one.
I thought wrestlers don't like being bothered at the airport here, but Axiom being a complete fan.
Yeah.
You're like, hey man, hey lad, can I get my... Yeah, this is cool. Axiom's been chasing him for a while. I think you could have just announced this match to begin with. Would have got people excited, because for anyone who does kind of follow, like, this is kind of been a side little feud that Wes was just kind of a dick and was like, yo, you have to be in the Battle Royal, even though you're the one who's been challenging me openly for a long time. So was really excited that they added this match tonight.
We go to our first match of the night. It's Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo taking on the team of Pretty Deadly. Stacks hits this kind of rebound second rope springboard forearm to Kit. It didn't look quite like as pretty as like an AJ Styles, but I thought it looked quite good from him. And then Vic is talking about how Joe Coffey has come back to Gallus, and Book has a great line where coffee is good till the last drop.
Yeah, why don't they use that? The Coffee Brothers should be using that as their slogan. I like that.
There's a big right hand from Stacks and Tony D to both Pretty Deadly. Stacks hits this really nice running European uppercut in one corner, then charges and gets hip tossed by Tony D into like a cannonball into the other corner. D'Angelo starts hitting some wheelbarrow German suplexes, followed by the double A spine buster. And then Elton Prince gets caught under the ring skirt. And as the ref is kind of distracted, he switches with Kit Wilson. So when Tony pulls him out of the ring skirt, it's Kit allowing Elton to sneak up from behind and shove him headfirst into the exposed turnbuckle. and then catching him with the roll up for the win.
So Tony D and Stacks just can't catch a break.
Yeah.
The new team, the
But
family.
now it's Tony D'Angelo getting the
right.
getting the
Well, like I feel like with last Saturday where Tony was like basically standing, taking the shots. They take the bullets for each other, right? But yeah, it's like pretty deadly now that they beat these guys. They think they're back in the running for these titles. Is that kind of where it's going to go? Is that the reason that they won over this team to move Tony D away back from the tag division?
So what? Having them back against Gallus,
which is kind of backwards because they are bad guys facing now real bad guys. So
I mean, I think Pretty Deadly could easily be babyfaces.
They cheated to win,
but they did cheat. Yeah, yeah. I don't really. I enjoy these acts, but I don't really care too much about them going into the title picture.
Right. Yeah.
I think D'Angelo and Stacks had a pretty good showing on Saturday. But still, like, neither of these teams against each other, I think neither are exciting enough to really put on a good match. Like, it depends on their partners, like who they're up against. And I didn't think this really hit for me.
No, this was like a quick little match. And I think Stacks is definitely someone who's improved. We talked about on our Stand and Deliver review, like he's someone who's pretty good for this young kid. But right now, I guess this is just fine for these characters.
We get a quick video from JC Jane explaining herself from Saturday, saying, "GG, you poor pathetic soul. You really thought you would have your big Hollywood moment. The joy on your face when you thought you were going to be the next NXT Women's Champion. Or delusion is quite the disease. Within 1 second, I was able to push that all away. GG, you were never going to win that ladder match, and I was going to make sure of it. I broke your face and heart, and all I have to do now is break your..."
I'm like a Batman villain.
Yeah.
Here. First I break your body, then your spirit, GG. So she basically saying she never was injured. She just did this to fake her out. Kind of what she didn't say that, but we're still not sure about that. But okay, the feud's obviously got to continue. They got to get a bigger blow off match. But her costing Gigi is a big heel move. The crowd reacted to it. I react to it. So yeah, I'm okay with it. Yeah,
me too. This feud is definitely not over, and I hope the next time. I mean, this could be Battleground, right?
I don't know. Won't be watching.
Yeah, you will. Just not live.
Maybe we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. We're doing the show the next day. That's it. We go to our next match. Dijak versus Odyssey Jones. Built on what? Nothing? Yeah.
Well, last week, right? The Battle Royal.
Oh, that's right.
He pulled them out of there. One of them pulled each other out of there, and they got mad. So
that's right.
It's like the Royal Rumble spot. But now it starts a feud.
We get a big boot from Dijak. Odyssey Jones comes back with a body slam. Then Jones goes to the top rope and eats a super kick. This is like Dijak stood super kicking this guy off the top. Look, quite flexible.
Yeah, I mean, he is, right? For a tall, big dude, he's lanky and stretchy.
Dijak then gets him off the turnbuckle for a Death Valley driver, which Jones kicks out of. And then Dijak goes up the top and hits the moonsault to get the win. 1-2.
Odyssey's looked good since like coming back, but I feel like maybe I was expecting a little bit more out of this, but also where Dijak kind of is and where Jones is right now, it does kind of make sense to maybe make Dijak stand out a bit more, to maybe put him into a bigger kind of feud or something. I don't know what that would be right now, but
yeah. After the match, he says, "I hope you had a great time at Stand and Deliver. I am Dijak and I am pissed off." Yeah, I don't like. We've seen the Wes Lee thing, so it's whether you like have him as a challenger for Melo down the line.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I guess it's that time where they're now, I guess we got to keep this guy kind of warm in case we want to do anything with, I think.
Exactly. Like, oh, hey, he's still like a big
this guy
name.
is good and could, like, him and Wes had a great match. I'm sure him and Melo could have a great match as well.
Yeah. Just not right now.
But just not right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jones, again, got better, but for right now, this is the spot.
We get a little video package for Dragon Lee, saying a bit more about him. And then we see Gallus being interviewed and kind of saying, haha, yeah, we're bad guys again.
You're making sure. You know how I know they're bad guys again? I can't understand them. I'm back to
Mackenzie's not giving that smile.
She's not happy. She's not smiling, and their accents are a lot thicker again. So I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. So you're bad guys.
So Joe Coffey says, I love it when a plan comes together. If you thought we were dangerous before, think how we are now. We are complete. And Joe says that he's looking for gold too, and people realize that this is our kingdom. So I imagine Joe Coffey going for North American title soon.
Yeah, he's making. He kind of said like, "Hey, you guys got gold. We got to fill up the gold here. I got to go for some gold." So I guess that, but I don't know if necessarily that's the right move. But
he is the singles guy of this group, though, isn't he?
Yeah, like challenging for it, sure, but I just don't know if a Gallus prophecy is something we need right now. I did think they deserved their win on the weekend, and him being back, like, hey, you know what? Let's see where it can go here. But I think it's the right move, making them like specifically the bad guys, then rather than are they the bad guys or are they bad guys who also are happy drunks, or like we weren't sure. They were good going forward. Make them like specifically heels, more deep into that. I think they could get over.
We go to our next match. This was announced like yesterday, I think, and really had my attention. Nathan Frazer taking on Dragon Lee. And as the match is about to start, Noam Dar shows up.
Who?
Holding the Heritage Cup. And says, the rumors are true. After months of negotiation, the supernova Noam Dar is finally here in NXT. So yeah, kind of from this and from commentary, it seems like the Heritage Cup is something that's going to be defended in NXT now. So I know you love this kind of stuff, rounds and everything.
Rounds and time limits and score boards and good stuff. Look, what a terrible way to debut this guy. I thought I actually loved Noam Dar. We've watched this guy is still super young. We've watched him when he was really young, way before even going to NXT UK. And there was kind of like, hey, a lot of these other people came over to NXT. What happened to this guy? He's kind of someone who's got a mouth on him, and a lot of sometimes that's great in wrestling. So when the wrestling can connect in the mouth and the character. Okay, I'll just admit it. I loved what he did with Alicia Fox, and I think that should just be now a character that comes over here. And it's been a long time now. So to just have him interrupt this match, holding this cup that no one really knows about. Sorry, no one really. And it's just kind of weird. I think maybe just attacking someone would have just simply been, but they tried for something new. But he looked like a complete geek when both guys are like ready to ring the bell, and he's like, "Oh, wait, hold on!" And this guy's wearing a white shirt, white pants, and he's like, "Hey, sorry, let me talk about this Heritage Cup." It's just like, oh, okay. Maybe after the match would have been the right time. Just felt like it was a bit odd having that. They don't normally do a debut where the match is about to start.
But like attacks are a bit played out as well. What I got from this is it was like, hey, we're doing this Heritage Cup thing, and these are the first three guys that are going to be in it. I think it was kind of to establish this division, almost,
right?
Because obviously Nathan Frazer being UK lad as well. I don't know, like Noam Dar, I used to watch a bunch for NXT and like Progress and PCW shows, and I've liked him, and he can talk, and it's just he's one of those guys that has been in the system now for so long that no one really cares.
Yeah.
Heritage Cup, I'm all for things being different, and if you're talking about it being guys like Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazer in this, I'm kind of for it. And instead of doing, yet another championship, it is something a little different. And in a way, it's kind of like when we had the Cruiserweight Championship as part of NXT is what I see maybe this being. And I know there were some good matches in NXT UK with it, I think. So
there was. And it's like NXT's done the Dusty Classic. They've done the different the Cruiserweight Classic, the Mae Young, like they've done all the Breakout. They've done so many different little things. Like if it's just a once a year kind of tournament, then absolutely like do it. Just I thought it was weird because then he's trying to cut a promo. He's like, oh, what is he, Scottish, right? Yeah, the Champagne Supernova, something like that. I don't know if they're allowed to say that, but something Supernova. And he said, oh, whatever, get on with this daft match. And I'm like, all right, like. I get that you're burying like the thing, but maybe you should have just had your music hit and come out and
instead of just walk out.
Instead of just being like, "Oh, hold on."
Also, like he's now like grown his hair out and
stuff.
Looks
different.
So, and Booker, like, it wasn't an instant. He was like, "Oh, I know this kid."
Lie.
No, I mean Booker was on commentary when he was
I
on Raw, wasn't he? Like that's the thing. No one does. Like he's done Raw. He's done all this.
Right.
So, but it was like with Book, it was like the audience.
You're telling me
where
Booker T
after
actually...
a while, people are like, oh, it's Noam Dar, Alicia Fox is that guy.
Right, yeah. Booker was probably like, yeah, I know
Exactly.
you.
Exactly, and that's what I think a lot of the audience did as well.
I'm just shocked Booker T knew who someone was who showed up on it. I'm happy he's here. I do like his work, and he's pretty funny, so I'm cool if this is the division. I just thought it was like, what a strange way, because I was super hyped about this match, which was pretty sweet.
Well, then we go into the match, and they start with a test of strength. They're monkey flipping each other. They're doing the whole kind of keeping the knuckle lock whilst going for the pins and bridging out. Then Frazer moonsaults over Lee's head in the corner. There's a Rana, which Lee cartwheels out of. Very quick leg sweeps. This whole start of this match, so quick, both working at such a pace. Frazer then catches Dragon Lee with this leaping flatliner from the second rope for a 2 count.
Very impressive. This is like springboard flying clothesline into a flat. There's just nuts.
And then Lee goes for a leaping avalanche German, but Frazer flips out of it and lands on his feet. Dragon Lee follows up with this big basement dropkick to the face in the corner, followed by the Ushigoroshi and PK for a 2 count. Now Frazer leaps the top rope and goes to superplex, but gets pushed down into the Tree of Woe. And as he's trying to get up, Dragon Lee comes off the top with a double stomp to the chest, and then charges at Frazer, who delivers a big super kick, which Lee kicks out of. And then Frazer goes up top for the Phoenix Splash. Dragon moves, so Frazer rolls through, but rolls right into a knee strike. And then Lee delivers a knee of his own. And then they're like countering each other. And Lee hits him with this big Liger bomb for a great near fall.
Yeah, this was awesome. 2.9.
And then Dragon Lee just comes flying at him with this bicycle knee strike, Shining Wizard kind of move.
Yeah, what is this move? I don't quite know the name for it, but
and puts Frazer away in a really impressive showing from both guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you've watched Nathan Frazer maybe a bit before coming to NXT and being signed here, you know he's one of the fastest, youngest little quick guys. Like, he's so fast. Last week on NXT, that taped NXT before the pay-per-view this weekend, he was a standout in the end of that Battle Royal with Axiom. Here with Dragon Lee, again, this guy, young, so fast. Like, you watch this, you think you're watching it on fast forward, comparing it to the rest of the show. Like, these guys just had great chemistry. I hope this isn't the last time these guys tango. I said that last week with Axiom and Frazer. Like, you know what? Like, you're right about this. If this is going to be some sort of Heritage Cup thing, like, if it's all these different types of guys, like, definitely into it. Because my only criticism of, I could have watched these guys wrestle for another, like, 10 minutes. It wasn't enough for me. So, like, great criticism, because I think these two could be pretty big deals in the world of WWE and the cruiserweight or flashy, fast type wrestlers.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I think the injection of NXT UK talent has been really good for NXT, just for the overall quality of the show. And then having a big signing like Dragon Lee, this kind of took me back to, you know, 2014, 2015, when you started getting all these hot indie signings that were doing their spectacular things that you don't often see on WWE TV. I really got that feeling watching this match today. So yeah, it makes me feel positive moving forward for this brand.
So it wasn't quite a daft match then.
No, it wasn't that daft. No. We go to Chase U, who say it felt great to kick the shit out of the Schism in front of the largest stand and deliver crowd of all time. We kicked them so hard that 2 of them sent packing.
Is what they're pretty much saying.
Yeah.
They don't really say that.
It was in the recap at the beginning as well. The flash of the entire Schism was like half a second.
Yeah.
And then it just showed Chase U celebrating.
Okay, so I know that we talked about it briefly just the other day because it was coming out when we were going live, that GYV asked for their release. I don't think it has been granted yet. I thought I saw that it was.
Meltzer said it had, no?
Yeah. But they have since posted pictures of themselves as GYV.
Okay.
So, like, the writing's on the wall that I would assume they're gone from NXT. But yeah, interesting kind of that the video does not really show them.
Yep. Andre Chase says, thank you to the honorary alumni Tyler Bate for helping us. And Duke Hudson's like, what? I know he's a big, strong boy, but if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have won. And Chase says, well, yes, I was going to award you. Then I remember how you said about how you hated awards and how you shouldn't get participation prize and all that. Duke said, yeah, but this wasn't a trivial match. I restored honor to Chase you, and that's something worth honoring. And Andre says, you're damn right it is. And that's why next week we are going to award you with the Chase University MVP Award. You son of a bitch.
That one popped me when he said that. All right. These guys are so ridiculous. It's like honorary honorary alumni.
Yeah.
Is that how that works? Is like when celebrities just get like...
So there's often like honorary diplomas and things like that you get. When at my graduation, Carrie Fisher got an honorary diploma from my school.
Wow.
Like,
yeah. All right.
So it's like, you're not kind of enrolled at the moment, but you've for great achievements representing us. Here you go.
Right. Okay.
Tyler.
Yeah. I mean, Duke. Are we getting the Duke turn next week?
That's what I'm like. It's like setting up. It feels like almost the festival of friendship, you know? Oh, we're getting the big MVP award for what's happening.
Can't do that too.
Is Tyler turning?
I mean, like now the schism feels like it's completely gone.
Yeah.
If those guys aren't here. Ava Raine, the Rock's daughter, don't know what you're going to do with her. But like, could Duke join Joe Gacy? I think Joe's going to be revealed as Uncle Howdy or something.
Like, it makes no sense for him to do it now.
No. His storylines never make any sense. So really.
No, but I mean Duke. It makes no sense for Duke to, like, he'd have done it at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Keep them together.
So, yeah.
Have Tyler turn up.
Yeah, you could do that.
My universe.
Hey,
Go green.
Brits. Can I get you? You're going to play Rip Jagger.
Is that their names put together?
Yeah. Well, what's the other one? Jagger Reed. Rip Fowler. Yeah.
I would love to, if they're gone, I would love to talk to them about, like, we've ripped them, but also we were huge fans of them.
Yeah.
We were like, you guys have been given such crappy characters that, like, the rest of the boys just must riz you about.
Like, we've had some pretty awful names in recent years, but these have to be two of the
some of the worst ones.
It's some that, like, I've never come to terms with.
I've never said it with a straight face. I don't think they have.
But even, like, Eric and Ivar, I'm kind of like...
That's pretty bad, yeah.
They're pretty bad. But, like, as Vikings, I get it. Eric and Ivar, the Vikings.
How many Vikings you know named Eric?
It's a Nordic name, yeah. Eric with a K. But it's better than Jagger.
Yeah.
Jagger Reed.
Pour one out for the GYV. You know what? I hope they show up somewhere else down the line. If this is all, like, legit and they're gone, then... I think they could. I think if they bet on themselves, they could go a bit further. I've enjoyed their work when they were GYV.
Yeah.
So.
We go to the Witches.
We go from the emo kids who wanted to leave to the Witches. We're doing good.
They say now we're talking about Alba Fire and Isla Dawn here. They say now the rightful NXT Women's Championships sit on their throne. We seized the championships, but we did not scourge the earth. Nothing is ever that simple. There will always be ashes left smoking. And then they look in there. They're like, witch's water. I don't know what
witch's water? Is it a cauldron?
So they got this altar with their titles on and candles and stuff. But it's like this little water cauldron.
See, dude, you don't know enough about witches. You don't like Shrek. You gotta watch about the witch water.
Yeah, the origins of witches, Shrek.
There's evil witches in some of them.
They say... I know Macbeth, you see. They say we are not finished with our troubled souls now that the unholy...
Yeah, the witches are champs. They like witches.
They warn all challenges, and we don't know how perilous these two can be.
I think basically, in a nutshell, they're saying, like, hey, we saw
open all
this...
challenges.
Yeah, we're open to fighting, but we also we saw in the future that this was going to happen. They said that last week, like, hey, our witch water,
and then
our witch water, showed us that we were going to be champions, and that's exactly what happens.
I think Apollo Crews needs to go to these two because he was a very bad.
They stole his
wasn't
gimmick.
he?
They completely stole his future gimmick. But yeah, look, as silly as like the witches thing is, like, I think it's the right move because I think there's a series of fresh matches we can go to with whatever teams we even have in NXT. But I think the talent is there. They do some pretty cool moves as well. I know it's a lot of gibberish and stuff like that, but also I think it would work with certain fans.
Yeah.
Like, witches is just a popular like thing that they haven't done in a while. I wouldn't say they've never done. They haven't really done it. So as much as maybe we think it's silly, I do think on the main roster, a group of witches would probably really hit, especially with women viewers and things like that. Like, it's spooky shit. Like the merch sales alone, right? Like,
Put Nikki with him.
Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
Wow. She
3 Scottish witches.
Or wait, are they all Scottish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see Gallus and the witches post a great photo and videos from. They both walked out as champions, so it was quite the whole thing going on there. But you're saying put them on the main roster with Nikki Cross.
Actually, you could do the whole Scottish play with these.
With Gallus?
You've got Gallus, you got Drew, you got
Good,
yeah, Drew would be Macbeth. You got the witches. Yeah.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Let's see that. WWE does Shakespeare.
Burns Night is the name of their group.
There's a lot of Scots there now. Yeah. We go to Wes Lee, who's being interviewed by Mackenzie Mitchell, and he says, "I'm riding on cloud 9. That match on Saturday felt like a human pinball machine. It was the wildest match of my life. Everyone was on point," and he compliments all of them. He says, like, JD McDonough can do stuff that not many people can do. He's so complete. He said Dragunov is like terrifying, and Dragon Lee is smoother than butter. But Axiom stood out to me the most. When he hit me with that super kick, I thought it might be over, and I owe him. I know I'm sore and he's sore, but we got to wake everyone up from their WrestleMania hangovers as we're going at it again.
I thought this was a great promo from Wes, mentioning two things that at least I was feeling. That that match was human pinball from just being a viewer, and yes, we are all still with this WrestleMania hangover. So saying those two things, I was like, and this match sounds awesome.
Yeah, I thought he sounded really good. I think sometimes he can be a little cheesy.
Yeah.
But I actually thought this promo really clicked, and I think these open challenges are really working for him. I think he's coming across as one of the top baby faces in this company right now.
Yeah, people love him. Talking to some friends over the past few days about just like WrestleMania weekend, a few were like, "Oh, that Wes Lee is awesome," and not kind of seeing him before, checking out Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of people who checked out Stand and Deliver that don't usually check out NXT. Yep. So I think that he stood out to a lot of people. And
that's two of the things that, like the 5-way and the Dijak match, and he's been like putting on really
2 for 2
big
of like
matches.
more than that, but like both those shows he was kind of the standout.
We go to our NXT Women's Championship match. Indy Hartwell defending against Zoey Stark, and Zoey goes to the super kick and the Z360. Not as good as our name.
So to sleep.
Yeah. Goes for it early, but Indy escapes. Indy goes for her running forearm to the back, but it gets blocked. Now trading punches. Zoey goes up top for the missile drop kick, and Indy moves out the way and then hits her springboard elbow drop to the back for a 2 count. And then Indy catches Zoey with the spine buster. Zoey finally lands her half and half suplex, which does look really nice, and hits the Z360. But in doing so, Indy falls to the outside, and then Zoey goes after her, drags her back into the ring, goes for the pin, 1, 2, but Indy counters it into a crucifix pin of her own to catch Zoey with the win and retain the championship in her first defense.
And still, yeah, I like the finish here where you saw Zoey hit that finish and then like it sent her out. So then she does the slow, like she's not capitalizing fully. And instead of like just a classic kick out, it's right into a pin, and it's almost Shawn Michaels, is it not?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I didn't mind the match.
Is it going to be the Indy way, though, where she's kind of
Right.
just sneaking all these wins?
Right. I
rather
don't
than
know.
kind of definitively putting them away.
Because lately, before winning this title, obviously, she's been using the bullhammer, which is a bit more of a like serious definitive finish, but I guess that it's a bit of a heel thing to do. But I like that finish a lot. The match itself, I think these two probably have something a bit better in there somewhere else, but
I do think Zoe's very impressive.
Yeah,
I think
she's
all
good.
her moves look very, very slick and quite like dangerous as well, like in a good way. And I thought her promo earlier was good as well. I do think Zoe, since turning heel, has really come into her own a bit, way more than when she was, throwing sushi around.
Yes, when she could not eat sushi.
Yeah.
Like me with our wings the other day.
But yeah, I am definitely curious with what they're doing with Roxanne moving. Because again, very little mention of Tiffany Stratton then comes out after the match to stare down Indy to kind of indicate, look, I'm next. When Cora Jade returns, attacking Indy from behind and holds up the women's championship for dropping the title on her. And Cora says that world title is mine.
Yeah, she then walks out and then kind of stares down Tiff and is like, yo, back up. Like, this is my thing. We haven't seen Cora in quite a while. It looked like Cora wasn't even in LA for Stand and Deliver with the NXT crew. So kind of going right back to evil Cora Jade.
So are we hot-shotting the title here? Are we just quickly getting it onto Cora to then finally do the Roxanne Cora thing with Roxanne chasing? Is that what we're doing
feels
here?
a bit that way.
Or
I hope not.
are we just now giving the Roxanne Cora story to Indy?
Yeah, I mean, Jade's been the heel. She's not been on TV for quite a while. I don't know. It would be pretty crappy to just...
Are we going to get that Lyra Valkyria match finally?
Four-way? Yeah. I don't know. Cora Jade was someone that I definitely was seeing a lot of promise in, and I don't think has quite recovered from the paper skateboard. At least for me, I'm like, I don't know. They haven't really
need to get over it.
No, just like they turned her heel, and the matches with Roxanne just didn't really hit that much. So really, I'm hoping that they can turn it around for Cora Jade, and maybe this is the start of it. Maybe Indy is going to be this somewhat transitional champion to then reverse it. But I wouldn't be shocked if Roxanne shows up on the main roster. It's teasing Tiff, it's teasing Cora. It's like a little too many few things going on.
We then go backstage, and it's the bit I was waiting for. Brooks Jensen, Kiana James, Fallon Henley, and Josh Briggs. And Brooks is apologizing. He says, I should have been a man and stood up. Kiana says, yes, when I ask you for my bag, you hand it to me. And Fallon says, well, he didn't want to cheat because we know you are cheating. And they're like, Horror Brooks, what? And Kiana says, yeah, I've been dating around.
Been playing the field.
We're not exclusive. But when I kissed, I thought you would be there for me, and you weren't. I thought you were better than that.
I thought I could trust you.
And she kind of walks off as if they're over. Brooks is mad because he's like, why didn't I think of saying I want to be exclusive? I didn't think about that. And then lashes out the other two and says, you stay out of my business. I don't want your help or input anymore.
Stay out of my relationship.
Yeah.
And then says, Kiana, wait.
And then it ends with Josh saying, your women's tag team title rematch is going to be difficult next week.
Oh, so I mean, we're getting that rematch.
Yeah.
Okay. But then a little after this, Twitter, Brooks Jensen, who shared our Brooks Jensen drink menu, our virgin cocktail, the Brooks Jensen,
popular.
which was very popular. Brooks Jensen, if you're out there listening, your drink was very popular. People love you. People of Toronto love you, Brooks Jensen, and we're supporting you. Brooks Jensen, though, tweeted out a little while after this segment aired and said, status exclusively taken.
Hey.
So wait, does he mean he sorted things out with Kiana?
I hope so.
I think she's still stringing him along.
We did mention that the other week, though, about how like maybe it's like, she's dating around and it not being the exclusive thing, but she's kind of, making him feel bad when it's...
She's gaslighting him. Yeah,
she is a bit, isn't she?
She's doing what we usually do to people.
In all seriousness, I thought, us? What?
I meant men.
You meant men. I thought Brooks actually was really good here. I felt him frustration with these two.
Future world champion Brooks Jensen.
Yeah, I'm all behind this guy.
If you know, we love our Brooks Jensen, but I don't know. I'm still interested in the story, and even if each week I'm puzzled at where we're going with it, I'm still into it. So they're doing a good job, I must say. The most ridiculous storyline going is this story. But hey, you know what, Kiana, I see her side too. We've all been there. Were you exclusive? Sorry, you asked me out for dinner.
It is 2023 now.
Yeah, polyamory,
like
monogamy, all that. Like, what is what these days? So you do have to. You can't just think you're boyfriend girlfriend without like.
No, you
can't just be someone.
You gotta have that conversation.
The exclusivity, the partnership or whatever. Like
Sorry,
whatever it is.
yeah, one date at Olive Garden.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Unlimited breadsticks doesn't mean unlimited times we can go out.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, I'm still interested in this story though.
Oh yeah, so I imagine we'll get it move along next week as well with the tag title.
I selfishly want it to like escalate and blow up a little bit to get things a bit more juicy. Still into it.
It will get there.
Yeah.
Get there.
Sebastian.
Trust the process.
we don't know if they'll change Dragon Lee to Sebastian Lee.
Sebastian Lee.
Still waiting on that. We'll see.
Ivy Nile then comes out. This was a bit weird. I don't know if it was because we were watching it on BT and the commercials just hit at the wrong time, but Ivy Nile comes out and then it seems to come back from commercial break early, and the camera shot is like, it's not their usual one because you're seeing their other cameramen walking around and stuff, and then
I don't think we were supposed to see this. I just quickly searched this. Yeah, I searched this on Twitter and a few people were like, were they supposed to not air this? Was this just a commercial break segment? Because we got this introduction to this character I've never seen on TV before.
Well, this we've seen him as Hank's security.
Oh,
friend.
really? Okay.
Yeah, Man Bun Security.
Luca Crucifino?
Yeah.
So he comes out and he starts handing out his. First of all, the music playing is like People's Court.
Yeah.
And he's coming out and he's talking to the people of the crowd and he's like, hey, I got to give you my business card. I'm the best lawyer in NXT and WWE. And starts saying like, hey, injuries? Like, oh, you look like you've gotten an injury because your face is ugly. Like, here's a card. Then he goes to this older dude and he's like,
he says someone's got rashy balls.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're rashy clearly. And then he's like, oh, you got ED. So like, looks like you. So then it was just weird. It felt very house show.
The character is, he's like this. He's Saul Goodman, basically. Like, he's got the cheap kind of double-breasted suit, which kind of isn't in fashion anymore. He's got the slick back hair, kind of
for New
loud
Year's.
personality. Yeah, he's the kind of guy you see on the giant billboards with their shit-eating grin and they're pointing the finger at you with their number to call for help. Like, that kind of lawyer.
This is so weird.
It felt just the way it kind of either came back prematurely from commercial or something. It did feel weird. So then he gets into the ring and faces Ivy Nile and says that Diamond Mine aren't here and the problem that I have with you. And then he kind of, I don't know if he forgot his lines or kind of started stumbling a little bit. He says, you can't make the decision for yourself. You need a man to answer to me, and offers his card. I didn't really know what he was trying to get out at night.
She said he said she needs a man, like, to solve real problems. Yeah. Again, cheap heel.
So Ivy just puts him in the Dragon Sleeper. Right.
Crucifino.
Yeah.
Crucifino in Barnes, or something like that would be. Yeah, very strange. I don't know if this was supposed to be on TV, but we saw it, and I Googled it, and some other people saw it on their feeds. Just really bizarre, but it felt like they're like, is this gonna be a character we're gonna start seeing? This lawyer guy, right?
I saw it work with Mark Sterling, and we got it. So we're gonna have more contracts,
more lawyers. Yeah, lawyers in wrestling is real popular right now. You know, I love my women of wrestling. Wow, and there's a manager on there. It's like when Vince is around, or sorry, whenever Seth Rollins is around, Seth freaking Rollins. There's this woman in Women of Wrestling that they specifically call her the world's greatest attorney. I'm blanking on her name now, but every time they say it, the world's greatest attorney, so and so, and it's like, yeah, well, where can I find this list of the world's greatest attorneys and see if she's on it, right? But maybe we'll be seeing more of Crucifino.
Yeah.
Down the line, but what a weird segment.
This then leads us into like kind of a little bit of a grudge match here, Ivy and Tatum, which also made it feel like it was weird timing, because these two have had a bit of a story going on.
Yeah.
It's Ivy Nile versus former Diamond Mine, not Diamond Mine member Tatum Paxley.
Well, she's not a witch, so we know she didn't join the witches. They just psyched her out a little bit to get what they want.
Tatum hits this nice kind of suplex, like the bounce off the second rope with it, which looks slingshot off the second rope. That's it. Ivy goes for the cross arm breaker. Tatum hits this big splash. Ivy then catches Tatum off the top with this gut wrench drop, and then this big running kick in the corner. Tatum goes for a kick of her own, but it gets caught and rolled through into the Dragon Sleeper, and then she cranks it back for Tatum to tap out. I thought the finish was really nice.
Yeah, Tatum Paxley is someone we've seen just kind of being used as the friend of Diamond Mine, and that's kind of the story where she's like, hey, she's yelling at her during this match, like putting boots to Ivy, like, we could have been a team. I wanted to be with you. When it's like, yeah, well, then you're the one who left. You're the one who dipped on her, so really, like, why are you complaining? But I still see some potential in Tatum, but I love that Dragon Sleeper from Ivy.
Yeah.
Such a sweet finishing move that I'm happy someone finally is using the proper finish. And I still could see Ivy going far with the Diamond Mine if they chose to go that direction. Nothing too flashy in this match, but still pretty fun.
Yeah. I thought the finish especially. I like how she cranks it back. Like she has it applied, and then
when
like
she
not
does
tapping,
it,
and then it's like when Angle would like then grapevine the legs.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, you're done.
It's similar to if someone does a choke like that in a fight, like that is when they would tap his spot. So
we go to Ilya Dragunov, who's being interviewed, and says, I was chosen for the North American Open Challenge because I chase monsters, and no challenges are too big for me to conquer. And when you looked in my eyes at that match and saw the blood trickling down my forehead, this is when Von Wagner interrupts and says, that's a lot of words to go all the way to LA and not get the job done. And Ilya says, well, I would rather be invited and lose than not be invited at all. And they're about to go at it when Robert Stone interrupts and says, I'll get you the match with Dragunov next week. If you don't win, you and me, we're done.
Von's like, I'll just throw the match out. Finally, I can be done with this guy. I know this other guy I can get, and he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
They're going with that guy.
I could see them.
He's basically Robert Stone too. Yeah. So cool. Dragunov versus Von Wagner next week. We're really using one of the best wrestlers alive today going up against Von Wagner, but
man, you missed an opportunity for a joke there.
What was it? Oh, to go up against Dragunov. Yeah, I think an incredible wrestler is Von Wagner.
Hey, you know what? I'm sure Dragunov could have a pretty fun match.
You're like, hey,
Dragunov's one of the best. Yeah, if they can just beat each other up.
This is it. Can we agree? This is it for Von. Von, you have a bad match with Dragunov.
Yeah,
you're done.
Yeah,
you're cooked.
That's what Stone's saying.
That's what basically Stone is saying, and I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like I've too many times said you're an incredible wrestler, and not once have you backed it up, Von. So now's the time. Sink or swim.
All right, we go to our NXT North American Championship match. Wes Lee defending against Axiom. Axiom goes for a crucifix really early in this match, almost catching Wes for the pin.
Yeah, 2.999.
Yeah, great stuff.
Great selling from Wes, Axiom, and the ref as well. Like Wes was like so shocked,
right out the gate. As well, like, whoa.
And as much as I am a fan of Axiom. At least they moved away from definite like math kind of stuff. Like. He wears a mask, but he's still good at expressing emotion. He's like, maybe learned a few things from Andrew Garfield playing Spider-Man, but like how to act and show emotion even though you can't see your face. He's good at that. So I thought that great spot for a beginning of a match, like, I almost had you there. Good.
Axiom's just doing these beautiful transitions. There's a big enziguri, and then a springboard Rana followed by a tope suicida from Axiom. Wes fights back with a huge uppercut, and then hits his crazy combination of kicks and strikes, ending with a German suplex with the bridge. He goes for the cardiac kick, but they basically go to recreate what happened at Stand and Deliver, with the cardiac kick being counted into the golden ratio.
Yeah.
But this time, Wes scouts that and counters the golden ratio with a double stomp to the chest. Timing here was fantastic.
Yeah, if you've watched these guys a little bit, you know, understand the moves that they do normally. And then if you've watched Stand and Deliver, you know that, like you said, that move was countered a specific way. So now Wes, it's like
Countering the
step
counter.
ahead of,
Yeah.
being a step ahead of and countering the counter into the stomp in midair. Just fantastic.
Wes then follows up with the Fisherman Driver, goes for the cardiac kick again, but this time gets caught with a sleeper with the body scissors. There's an inside cradle from Axiom. They're now just trading super kicks. Wes goes up top, the spiral tap, but Axiom gets his knees up, then delivers this big knee to the face, and Axiom sets him up, goes to the golden ratio, but Wes slides through and now hits him with the cardiac kick. This might have been the best one he's done. He just clocked him right on the top of the head and picks up the win over Axiom, retaining the title in a fantastic match between these two.
Yeah, best match of the night, I think, on this show was these two. And again, I am a huge fan of Axiom and a huge fan of Wes Lee. And I think I said earlier that my only critique of Nathan Frazer and Dragon Lee was like I could have just watched them wrestle for a lot longer, and that was the exact same. Like, fight forever thing is totally played out, but fight for another half hour should be a chant, because like just fight for this match was starting and there was still like a bit left of the show, so I was like, whoa, are they either giving them a lot of time or they're still going on? And it was the latter, but I'm like, oh, if these guys got more than like what they get, probably 10 minutes, 11 minutes, you could have done a lot more. I think Axiom could be a pretty big deal, mask or not, man. He is something special. Him versus anyone.
I honestly think the mask is better.
Maybe,
for him.
yeah. I just love the
sometimes
wrestling.
what you get is, as you said, like he's getting expressive, and that's why masks are often used a lot in acting. It's because it's to get you to emote with the rest of your body, and you see things in the mask, even though it's kind of neutral, you know, and it can help performers. A-Kid looked boring as fuck, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think this is working for me. And I can see kids, like, as soon as, you know, this guy's on the main roster and kids are watching him, I think they will like this guy and go, be gravitated to this guy. I like this whole division, you know, Wes, Axiom, Frazer, Dragon Lee now, Ilya, JD. I think they've got a great little group.
Yeah, any of these iterations is what's
Noam Dar's going to be in there as well,
Yeah.
and can be delivering as well in ring. You had two really good matches from these guys tonight.
Honestly, like any of these guys, including Wes, Axiom, JD, Ilya, anyone involved in that 5-way, easily, like they're like what we were saying, the NXT, the new NXT 5, really. But I'd add Frazer in there.
I'd add Frazer, sure.
In there, just because the ring work is just crazy. I know NXT still gets a lot of people not watching and a lot of flack for a lot of the silly stuff, and the wrestling's still there though if you watch it week to week. And this was another snapshot of that.
I don't think it's as silly as it was, and I don't think it's
like
as silly as anything else going on in other companies now.
Sure.
You know, and the wrestling has been delivering. I think there's just a whole lot of wrestling. Then it's not. Yeah, you only have so much time to watch stuff. You know now.
I will say Axiom always have time to watch his match.
Yeah,
I have definitely become a fan. As much as I clown the stuff before, just dude, he's awesome. Just so clean. And Wes at this point, all the stuff he's been through, I'm seeing him each time as a viable, like, main character going forward. So love it.
You then have this voiceover that says, I can see you crystal clear. I can see everything. I see the hidden corners of your mind. I know you. And Scripts comes flying off the top rope, but this time Axiom scouts him and super kicks him in the face. And
the crowd go wild and
yeah,
shit.
It was a cool spot actually, because he kind of leaps out of nowhere and just gets caught. And then I didn't hear what Axiom said, and Vic says, I don't know if you heard what he said there over the standing ovation, but Axiom's. And then we cut to Nathan Frazer. What did he say?
We'll never know.
It was from I got it as Axiom being like, I don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
Like, I almost thought this was ending that story.
Leave me alone.
We might have one match or something, but it's Axiom's like, nah, I ain't dealing with this.
Yeah, we were saying the silly stuff, and then this fucking guy, this fucking Cirque du Soleil.
But the crowd did lose their mind at this kick. It was
They
was pretty
chanted
cool, actually.
Axiom like nonstop after he won. I think he's definitely become a favorite of the people who do watch NXT regularly and the people who go to these shows
Yeah.
regularly. Because again, if he's on the card, at least you got one match on there that was like, oh man, this guy's good. So guy to watch is definitely him and Wes. So the story though should be he beats him. Actually, like the story should be eventually he is the
Axiom
guy.
eventually.
Yeah,
beats.
I would say that is that. Like he then has to go back up the
Not
ranks.
Joe Coffey.
Yeah, yeah. Coffee Axiom.
The Gallus prophecy. The Green prophecy.
The Gallus boys on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
We go backstage to Nathan.
We didn't give a
Frazer.
fuck about scripts there, by the way. We were like, anyways,
You
is
got
that
kicked
over?
in the
Yeah,
face
cool.
and it was
Yeah,
great.
good. I
Like-
hope we never see him again.
We go to Nathan Frazer, who's asked about kind of.
Wait, hold on. Is scripts trying to threaten Axiom that he's going to like reveal his identity? That's what it sounded like in the promo. I know you. I know who you are, and that's why Axiom kicks him. Like, no, shut
maybe.
the fuck up. You're not telling anybody. Axiom's like, yeah, well, I know who the fuck you are too. Reggie.
It's then revealed, and it's like it's not a kid
It's
at all.
not either of them.
It's this Tank Ledger guy we're about
yeah,
to talk about.
yeah.
It's Tank Ledger and Scripts is Obafemi.
What was this? It's just like, hey, here's some new people where you're gonna see soon.
Well, I wonder if you mentioned the breakout tournament earlier. I think
Yeah.
it's about time we get another one of them. So
Okay.
maybe they're just starting to do these packages to show your new class of.
Danny Palmer, a woman wrestler, a guy named.
Tank Ledger and Obafemi.
Okay.
Yeah, so just say coming to NXT. But yeah, that's kind of what I think. It's been a while since we've had a breakout tournament, and I think if they're going to start introducing new people like PC from the center, right?
Yeah.
We go to Nathan Frazer backstage, who's asked about his loss, and he says that Stand and Deliver marks the beginning of the year, even though it's an April. So I didn't start the year on a good note, but I am hoping to grow from this. Kenzie says, wow, you're 24 and you're wise beyond your years. He says, well, when you have a moment of enlightenment, your perspective changes and your reality changes. And he goes, whoa, I'm pretty sure that is what happens. So
Haiku. What is he talking about here? Something happened.
is
to
he
him?
now like
Tyler Bate?
everything everywhere all at once? Like he's just in that interview, he's gone and like replayed the match different ways and now he sees his like clear path or something.
Oh, it's like he's hanging out with Tyler Bate doing yoga,
Yeah,
doing some psychedelics or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what he meant here, but
I sniff a silly gimmick.
oh, really? Oh no, a multiverse gimmick or something? Is that what you're
It's
trying?
that something or like because it was the way he was suddenly like
Enlightenment.
no, I'm
Moment of
okay.
clarity.
I've had a moment of clarity. So it's gonna be some like manifesting or
This guy's great too, man. He says 24. He looks a lot younger than he is, but like he is awesome and trained by Seth Rollins. You'd figure he's got a spot ready for him somewhere sometime, but he does need something to go. Like that's what they gave Axiom, a lucha mathlete gimmick.
yeah.
Dropped the mathlete and just luchador kind of. He doesn't really have anything, so maybe they do need to give him something.
Well, they put him in Chase U for like 2 weeks, didn't they?
Yeah,
So
his girlfriend Thea.
yeah. So now they're trying to figure out something else. But yeah, I think it's gonna be some sort of.
I will say it is always been the fun part of NXT, kind of seeing like the stars before stars, and I do see it with this guy as well. Like he's good.
Like down the line, Seth Rollins versus this guy
Yeah,
is definitely a feud you could do
he'll retire Seth.
because
Rollins.
they've brought up
A
the
lot.
Seth Rollins, like he does the Phoenix Splash, his gear is very Seth Rollins-esque and that kind of thing. So next week we've got the rematch for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Cora Jade will appear live. We've got Von Wagner versus I've got Von Wagner versus Von here. Sorry, Von Wagner versus Ilya, and we've got the MVP trophy presentation. Will Chase you get MVP to award the MVP?
That would be pretty funny, but
Yeah.
Is there any other? We rest in peace, Lanny Poffo. I was gonna say any other like school, Matt Stryker.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right.
you know, like other school related teaching things.
Wasn't there Dean?
Oh yeah.
There was a Dean
Well,
gimmick. Dean.
yeah, he's passed away too, right? Is that Mike Awesome?
No, was it? Who was the Dean?
Samantha Smart on WoW. Big fan of her as well. You know.
Not Dean Malenko.
Yeah, let's get Dean Malenko.
Shane Douglas.
Shane Douglas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, yeah. Did I just confuse Mike Awesome as the Dean with Mike Douglas? Yeah, maybe.
I think so.
Mike Douglas?
Shane Douglas.
Who's Mike Douglas is the actor?
Michael Douglas. You're just on... No, I call him Mike. He's Mike to me.
Michael Douglas.
So Michael Douglas is going to be awarding Duke Hudson.
You
his
lost
MVP
me. Yeah, you lost
trophy
me now.
next week.
I'm officially broken down. I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Well, let's just get to the Mellow celebration. The Mellobration, which I'm pretty sure Carmella's said as well, hasn't she?
Mellobration?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
They say, we're at the house that Kobe, at Stand and Deliver at the house that Kobe built, the Staples Center,
Nice.
Crypto.com. I did stand and deliver. I am the NXT champion and I am him. Trick says this is the him era. And since day one, Mello says, I stopped chasing championships and I attracted them. It's a Mellobration and I'd like to give Bron Breakker his flowers. He deserves it. He's one of my toughest opponents. And on the build to this match, I wasn't the same Mello. I had to give him my respects. I'd like to call you out if you're back there. At the end of the match, you presented me your championship, and that was really cool of you. I don't know what the future has in store for you, but from me and everyone in NXT, thank you. Thank you, Breakker chants. That's when Bron has come out and he talks. He says, I appreciate that. That title holds great legacy. There's always a time that the champion gets defeated, and I had to pass the torch in the most respectful way. Champion did the same for me, and I'll do the same for you. And NXT is just as much about the superstars as it is the NXT universe. And we hear those Mellow chants week after week. And give it up for your new NXT champion, Carmelo Hayes. And as Bron's about to leave, Mello stops him. Hey, offers his hand. Bron shakes it. They hug. Bron raises his hand in the air and then clotheslines him. He turns to Trick, hits his military press slam, and then a huge spear to Mello, like knocking him right out his shoes.
Yeah, big spear.
As we go off the air.
Yeah, a little confusing now, I'd say. You started off the show. Well, okay, let's rewind to a few weeks ago, actually. Carmelo, who's been a heel for, I don't know, 2 years maybe now. All of a sudden started acting like a babyface since given the big opportunity for the title match at Braun at Stand and Deliver. No heel turn leading into it. A pretty, like, just babyface versus babyface feud story and match until we got to the match when he taps out when the ref is down, and then his friend Trick hits Braun with the title, which didn't cost him the title just then and there, but a little while later he ended up winning anyway. So it did. He tapped, and then his friend helped him. They erased that from the beginning of the episode of NXT, and then they just pretend like they don't mention it at all when then Braun just hits him.
And I think if you didn't watch Stand and Deliver and you just watched the recap and watched this end, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But I found Mello, like, having seen the match, I found Mello very kind of insincere in a way. Because he's there, and I'm like, also think, Bron, why did you give him the title at the end? Why are you?
Yeah, he cheated.
You've got a genuine gripe with this guy. Yeah, I just think they fucked up on Saturday with that. And I think if you just had the clean win, I think this would have made a whole lot of sense. You do the respect angle, you do the passing of the torch, and then Bron attacked. I think they're playing off the fact that people think Bron is moving up, and they're like, actually, this is developmental. We'd probably like to see him as a heel, and let's try and stretch those muscles a bit before moving up. So I like the idea of now Mello face, Bron heel, but they just missed a beat, didn't they?
Yeah, it feels a bit messy. It feels like there's something not connecting, and that's with me who watch every week and watch the show and watch everything. So it is a bit, just a bit of a miss. I think that they did this the wrong way. If anything, it could have been at the pay-per-view when Braun is like viciously beating him, or Braun thinks he hasn't beaten, like breaks it up, or there's so many different things and like things to lean on in wrestling that this was the complete wrong way to go about it with the way they acted the whole night. I bet you this isn't. I don't even know if this is it. Braun turning heel. Is it Carmelo being like, no, I was being a dick, and that's why. It's not.
No, this to me felt like a big double turn.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we'll get the rematch at Battleground probably.
Right. Okay.
Maybe on TV before I see it being at Battleground though.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how Braun does as a heel. I think he is kind of explosive enough with his moves that he could be a pretty like good heel.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
I think he's. I'd like to see how it goes, and I think this story, as I said, would have been absolutely fine if you didn't do the tap, if you didn't do the
Yeah, it would have
title
made
shot.
total sense.
Everything would be fine. But I'm interested to see these two do it again with the roles kind of reversed. And Breakker stays, which kind of makes me think, I look at the people that weren't on the show. If Breakker's sticking around, I do see Waller moving up.
Right. Yeah, we need to move some people up there, so that would make sense. But there's a few. I mean, we're recording this obviously Tuesday night, and there could be SmackDown. There could be things going on in that regard and stuff. But Braun as a heel going forward, sure. I thought it could have been time for him to go up, or him. I don't know who else. Roxanne, I guess, could be one.
Roxanne, Mako, Waller.
Mako, yeah,
the three
let's
I'd
go.
say.
Yeah.
And then I kind of think pretty deadly as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's
their wrestling isn't there, but the everything else is already
enough.
there. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
The talking is great. But yeah, that was NXT this week. A bit of a hangover episode, but still like wet my whistle with some wrestling, whether it was Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazer or Wes Lee and Axiom. So I still get my thing. Like that's okay with NXT for me. If I didn't have to do a show, I'd still check it out simply because I know most weeks, if there's a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily care about or filler, there is still scattered within like some great in-ring action.
Yeah, I thought this is a pretty good episode. I think both of us are a bit burnt out from this crazy weekend. But yeah, definitely those two matches were great, and you got a big angle at the end there. Indy, I'm going to be interested to see how hot this NXT women's title run is. I think we're just flipping it onto Cora. But yeah, we've got a little bit of direction going into Stand and Deliver, and maybe this time next week we'll be talking about some call-ups for SmackDown, because we didn't get any on Raw. But yeah. I kind of feel we might see someone on SmackDown in a couple of weeks.
Hope so. Yeah. Hey, join our Facebook page and Facebook group Poison Rana, because on Tuesday nights we post a feedback thread there, and we'll read your feedback, your comments, and questions about NXT. We go to Chris Masterson, who writes in, I have zero feedback for NXT tonight because I didn't get to watch it, but I did just find out that I'm part Canadian and part English, so I felt like sharing that with the team. Congratulations.
So he's us.
A British Canuck.
Yeah.
Then we go to...
Yeah, do you want to... I've lost it. Oh,
Fire Frank.
There we go.
He says, quite an eventful episode coming off Stand and Deliver. Dragon and Frazer and Wes Axiom were both great, and Indy got a first defense out the way and has two more lined up now with Tiff and Cora. Sounds good. And we've got Mello solidify as a face and seemingly keeping Trick with him, which is great news. Braun getting some experience as a heel is just the crowd was starting to turn on him is probably a good thing as well. We shall see. Overall, entertaining edition.
And finally, we go to Magan, who says, a strong Fallout episode from Stand and Deliver. Bron broke bad, and it gives Mello the perfect excuse to go babyface. Two great matches in Axiom Wes Lee and Dragon Lee Nathan Frazer. Cora Jade made a noteworthy return, and Indy Hartwell got to cement herself as the women's champion. Probably a four-way at Battleground is in the cards. It's what I needed after the clusterfuck that was Raw after Mania. I'd like to think it was an anomaly. Hopefully.
Yeah, we will see. And yeah, overall, okay episode of NXT. I enjoyed Stand and Deliver. I still enjoyed watching tonight's episode. I think with things moving forward with new champions can lead in different directions and different matchups and storylines. Definitely excites. It does feel like still like a new kind of chapter moving on from kind of where we've been. So I'm always into that. But their next pay-per-view, the next PLE of NXT is Battleground. And Shawn Michaels thought it would be a great idea to put it on the same night as AEW Double or Nothing.
Yeah, it's just disappointing. Come on.
Yeah.
We want to support everything. We will be doing a show for that, but we are also hoping to do some more events, and we're kind of got our eyes on Double or Nothing. So likely we'll be doing our NXT post show on the.
You hear that? The NXT podcasts are still just gonna watch Double or Nothing. It was announced first. Sorry, Sean. That's just mean, in my opinion. Who, like, really? You needed to do one. That was the day you chose. All right, cool. Great stuff. Thanks, Sean. Love you. But yeah, that is the truth. We'll still be doing it, but we're probably going to choose Double or Nothing. Unless we can somehow have half the bar playing one pay-per-view and half the bar playing NXT.
We're still going to have to note it and watch it. So
yeah, exactly.
I think it will be easier to...
Yeah.
We could do that. We can do that.
It's possible, but yeah. So lots of wrestling. The wrestling never stops.
No.
As a wrestling fan, it just keeps going and going. There's no other... Imagine a show just like, hey, season finale, and then the next night. Anyways, here's the season premiere.
Yeah.
The new season. That's how wrestling works. And it
Yeah.
just is nonstop. And then you got the summer coming around the corner where people want to be outside more. Baseball and sports and, oh man, lots of stuff going on. But hey, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to listen to us here today, tonight, whenever it may be for you. Thank you. Appreciate you people. Again, shout out everyone at postwrestling.com. Shout out anyone who showed up to our WrestleMania watch party or helped us with it in any way. We love you people and our Poison pals, our NXT friends. We will be back next Tuesday night covering NXT with whatever happens off after that. We'll be going live here on the post feed. But go check out Poison Rana. Search that in your podcast or YouTube and hit that subscribe and download and check out all the other shows we did. We mentioned our WrestleMania weekend roundup show, chatting everything from both nights of a awesome WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure we go off on for like 20 plus minutes on Sami Zayn and KO versus the Usos, and just how much we gush over that. Plus, over on our Patreon, patreon.com/PoisonRana, we have a review of WrestleMania 11 up, 19 up, plus 500 podcasts from the past few years there. Technically, upNXT turned 5 years old this past weekend.
It turns 5 on Saturday.
Wow.
The
So
8th.
5 years now of us doing some NXT podcasts, which is just absolutely crazy. So thank you guys, and follow us and all that stuff at Poisonrana Pod, Twitter, Instagram for all the updates, because our Patreon show this week, we're going to be doing a best match ever, Rey Mysterio, all outside of WWE, but for free, the Rey Mysterio WWE best match ever we're doing. So go look for that over on that feed. But lots of podcasts, lots of stuff. Follow our socials for everything we do. And I guess we're going to do that Mario movie. Be pretty fun.
Yeah, okay. Fine, whatever you
I've
say.
been defeated and brought down. Thank you, everybody. I myself, Braden Herrington. You can find me Twitter and Instagram. I am at the Bray D.
And I am at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And happy wrestling and more wrestling and never enough fucking wrestling.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.